One of the biggest questions going into the final season of Young Sheldon was who Mima ends up with. Connie. Aka Mima has had some notable relationships over the course of the series, with some being more serious than others. At the end of the day, however, Mima's priorities are her grandchildren. Sometimes this has led her to avoid taking her relationships to the next level, turning down a number of suitors and dedicating herself to Sheldon and his siblings. However, the timeline of Mima's romances hinted at who she'd settled down with by the time Young Sheldon concluded. Mima has a thriving social life of her own where she enjoys gambling at the casino, running her laundromat, and of course dating. Following the death of her husband, Mima actually had a pretty healthy dating life with some memorable BOs. So far on Young Sheldon, Mima has seen 3 separate men but only had 2 serious relationships, with each of them making a significant mark on her dating life. While there are certainly some suitors who feel like stronger prospects, the final season of Young Sheldon ultimately revealed who Mima ended up with. It was revealed in The Big Bang Theory that Pop Pop had passed away when Sheldon was very young. For much of her adult life, Mima was married to her beloved husband, Mary's father, and Sheldon, Georgie, and Missy's grandfather, Charlie. Known as Pop Pop, he and Mima had a wonderful marriage. Pop Pop, who Sheldon described as the only member of his family who actually encouraged him to pursue a career in science, died of complications from surgery. Though he was never seen on the show, Young Sheldon makes him a big part of the Cooper family. However, he also shared the same ego and narcissism as Sheldon. Charlie passed in 1985 when Sheldon was just 5 years old, and he and Mima were likely married for decades, where they had 3 kids together, including Mary. It was clear that Pop Pop would always be the love of Mima's life, as evidenced when she got upset at John for wearing her husband's old blazer she was attempting to sell in a garage sale. However, it was time for Mima to move on and work on finding love again. Mima and John Sturgis meet and start dating. Season 1, Episode 19, Episode 21. Mima's first boyfriend in Young Sheldon was John Sturgis, played by Wallace Shawn. An unlikely pairing, John Sturgis was socially awkward and completely opposite to Mima. But despite not appearing on The Big Bang Theory, he becomes a beloved character on Young Sheldon. Yet she fell easily for his quirks and charms, and the pair soon began dating in Season 1, Episode 19, Gluons, Guacamole, and The Color Purple. After several successful dates and a blunder in which she must leave his lecture hall for distracting him too much, they take their relationship to the next level in Episode 21, Summer Sausage, A Pocket Poncho, and Tony Danza, when John cooks dinner for her, and she invites him to stay the night. They were definitely one of the best relationships in Young Sheldon during the show's earlier seasons, but it was also through the pairing of John and Mima that it became clear just how much of a free spirit Sheldon's grandmother truly was. Mima dates Ira and John at the same time, then dumps Ira. Season 1, Episode 22. It didn't take Young Sheldon long to prove that Mima was romantically a free spirit who wasn't in a rush to get tied down, as before the end of Season 1 she found herself involved in a love triangle. Mima's success in the dating world is highlighted when she briefly dated Ira and John at the same time. Ira, played by Richard Kind, wasn't a continuous presence in Young Sheldon, but ended up being an incredibly important character for the wider narrative, both because of his being used to show Mima's approach to romance, and because of the impact this had on Sheldon. In Episode 21, Vanilla Ice Cream, Gentleman Callers, and a dinette set, Mima goes out on a date with Ira, but finds that they aren't compatible. Ira tries to win her back by buying her furniture, but she stands her ground. John confronts Ira when he finds this out, infuriating Mima, but Ira backs off. In the meantime, Sheldon has been watching this all very closely and draws up his first ever relationship contract. There are a few bumps here, as Mima has to tell John not to praise Paige too much in front of Sheldon in Young Sheldon Season 2, Episode 2, A Rival Prodigy and Sir Isaac Neutron. And John tries to get Sheldon and Missy to participate in a twin study in episode 5, a research study, and Czechoslovakian wedding pastries. Otherwise, this is a peaceful time in Mima and John's relationship.